Hey guys, Moneyman300 and I'm back with another tuning in-depth video. We're going to be talking damping in this one, so we'll get into it in just a second. Apologize for the little lag in videos there for the last week, but I was out of town, a little family vacation. I was up in the mountains doing some hiking, up in Colorado, doing some hiking and some horseback riding and all kinds of fun and rest and relaxation, but back ready to go. Gonna want to finish out these tuning in depth. We have the damping, aero, brakes, and differential left. So we have those four left, and I may do one at the end where I kind of put it all together. I'll have to think about how that'll work and if I can make that a worthwhile video or not. So, but anyway, this is we're gonna go into damping. This is just a brand new car that I bought here. I was getting ready to tune anyway, so I thought I would start with this. This is the Subaru 22B, which is a beast of a car in multiple classes, pretty much anywhere from C, B, and A it will do well. Also, just got a great all-around car, and this paint job here is from my man Filthy Piehole, and if you're not checking out his designs, you should add him as a someone you follow as a creator. He has some great designs. This one is, I think, is super cool with the black and the red. I like those colors anyway. But yeah, Filthy Piehole is his gamer tag. Give him a look. A lot of great designs out there. Highly recommend that. So let's hop in here, go to the upgrade area. Let's get into our tuning. And one thing, I know I didn't point this out early on, but in order to tune any of these things, you have to come in here and add your platform and handling. And this damping specifically, you got to have adjustable springs and dampers here. So just an FYI, if you haven't, you can watch the I think it's my tuning basics and talk about that the build and tune, and that you need to have these race springs, race brakes, all those things for these parts to be adjustable. But anyway, so I'd throw that in there. I know some of you are new to Forza. I want to make sure that I include that information in there. So let's head over to our damping settings. So this is just the default right out of the box damping settings. So a little bit about what damping is. That's your rate of travel in your springs up and down. And there's two different ways that you adjust that. You adjust your rebound and your bump. What your rebound is, actually, I'll talk bump first because it seems to make more sense to me to start with bump. But bump is the rate of travel up into the wheel well. So as the spring compresses. So it's how soft, and the softer, the more quickly it'll compress. The stiffer, the slower it will compress. So that's your bump stiffness. Your rebound is then how quickly the wheel would then travel back out of the, back away or out of the wheel well. And the expansion of the spring, how quickly it rebounds back to a normal state. And again, softer is going to have it, actually in this case, stiffer happens quicker and softer slower. So it's not super important, but it is good to understand what that does. And you can read through here. Again, the description is pretty good, although I would not follow the advice that they have as to how to start these out. They talk about set your rebound and then have your bump at 50 to 75%. That's okay, and it can work, but there's a better way to do this. This here isn't a place where I spend a lot of time tuning. And I'm also not going to have a demonstration in this one because it's really hard to really show because it's real minor and it's real based on feel. There really isn't a good demonstration I can show on this. So I'm really just going to talk through this one and then show you the settings that I would normally start with and then why and where I would make adjustments. So, but anyway, they talk about setting your rebound and then your bump at 50 to 75%. We're not going to do that here. As a general rule of thumb in Forza 5, you want really stiff rebound and really soft bump. So I'll usually, there's different ways you can do it for a while, and I kind of bounce around a little bit, and you kind of have to find the settings that you like in this. But as a general rule, you want to be stiff on your rebound and soft on your bump. So a lot of times what I'll do is you can see how the springs and the damping kind of match up as far as ratios go. A lot of times for a while I was trying to keep that the same, and it works fine, and all these things are going to work. So if you were going to do that, I might start out and just leave these at 9.7 and 8.8, but then drop these way down to something like 2.0 and and then something comparable in a ratio, which is probably around here. something like that. So I would just go straight and do something like that and then move on. And that works fine also. More recently, I have been running these up significantly more in the, maybe around 11, and I've been making them even to start with. So I might go 11 and 11 there, and then putting these way down, even as low as 1.0. In this case, I'll just throw it at 1.5, and then I'll just go and probably never touch them again. This is a pretty typical thing that a lot of people are doing, really high there, really low on your bump, and then just leaving them alone. The place where you would and where Rebound and Bump help you or you can tune for is in transition. So transitioning into a turn, your turn in, and then coming out of a turn. Those are the two places where you might want to make adjustments. And primarily the only time I'll make an adjustment is generally when I'm trying to get the turn in tuned a little bit better. So I'm looking for, adding transitional oversteer. So I might take the front, and you can read through that and see this. So transitional oversteer, it gives me a little bit of oversteer coming into the turn, which means I'm going to, turn in a little bit quicker. Now, if you're getting a lot of oversteer, if you're losing traction, turning in. Now, this is after you're done braking. You got to be careful not to confuse this with, with locking up the brakes and oversteering that way. So this is assuming you're not in a trail brake, which is braking while you're turning state. When you're done braking and you start your turn in, if you immediately start to oversteer, you may need to drop or increase your front rebound stiffness more. So if you were down in here, and that's why running this so high is already good, because that way that allows you to not oversteer in there. You still have good turn in, and if you need to, I might drop this down to 10.5. Maybe I'll go to 10.0 if I'm just not able to steer the car in, but that's really the only type of adjustment I'm going to make on there. Rarely am I going to make any other type of adjustments. I almost never touch bump once I have it set. This is a really kind of a set it and forget it, but it's important that you do set it and that you do run your rebound stiff and your bumpness soft. It does help. You can do some playing around, put them even in the middle, run a lap or two, then do this. You'll notice a difference in your grip. You do get more grip coming in and out of turns if you have really stiff in your front rebound. And I think it even says that in here. Stiffening front dampening adds grip to the rear. Okay, well, that's a good thing. And then stiffening rear dampening adds grip to the front. Well, it sounds like you want both really stiff because you're technically adding grip to both sides based on that description. So that's probably why this ended up working out this way. People just kept bumping it up saying, yeah, more grip, more grip, more grip. And you don't seem to get a penalty out of it. So that's a good thing. And then on the flip side of that, your bump, you want to allow things to compress really quickly and then come back really quickly, thus keeping the tires firmly planted on the ground at all times and giving you maximum grip. So that's all I do for dampening. Like I said, I don't make a lot of adjustments here. This is a set it and forget it, more of a set it and forget it and very fine tuned type of setting. So go ahead and play with that in your tunes. If you're not running settings like this, I recommend that you go try them and see if it helps you in your lap times or in your multiplayer driving or your single player or, however you're enjoying the game. So that's going to wrap it up for this one. Next one we'll do is aero. I may combine aero and brakes, although I have a demonstration for brakes. Aero would be a really quick one. So we will end it on that, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.